and welcome back to another episode of Caps Talk. I'm your host, Qudisah Muhammad, here with my assistant, Marcus Aceves-Lewis. And here with us today, we have Mr. Boye Ajishigeri. So if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became inspired to become a tailor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Qudisah. I started off in accounting as it relates to like my business role, but I got into tailoring through my mom. My mom was a tailor, and all the time she used to sew clothes for our community, and people would bring their clothes to her. She would sew it, and then to save time, she would send me to the fabric store to go buy various fabrics and supplies that she needed in order to sew. So that's how I got into fashion. And so, fashion is something that, based on the opportunity of having to see how it is made from the ground up, why I got so inspired to get into the design world. So that's where I got into it. It was my mom.
Awesome.
Really? That's incredible.
Yeah.
So a bit about, so you said you were CPA, but like tailoring was like your passion from the start as a child. What encouraged you to go through that in life to then teach it to other people, not just have it as a career, but also to teach it to the youth in the city? What made you decide to?
That's a good question. So right now you really can't see how tall that I am, but I'm quite tall. I stand 6'6".
Oh wow!
So it's very difficult for me to go into the store and find some fashionable clothes. Like if I go into the big and tall store, they have things that are very bland, and I'm a type of individual that likes to show my stylistic. Should I say, thumb, and so therefore, that is what really kind of pushed me into it is being able to find clothes that were very fashionable for big and tall guys. So that's one of the main people that I really cater to are big and tall people, as well as short individuals. I cater to everybody,
right?
But finding clothes for big and tall individuals is very, very difficult, and that's what got me into it.
Right.
Wow.
So let's talk about it. Say I'm going for, or I guess my co-host here, Marcus, is going for a job interview. What should he, put on? What should he be wearing in order to make a good impression towards the interviewer?
Right.
Very good question. So whenever you're going for an interview, you want to definitely impress the person that's going to be interviewing you. And one thing that you want to keep in mind is that you want to wear something that's very dark. So you want to stick with the navy blues. You want to stick with something that's in the blue. In a dark blue color range. Black is a good color as well. Something that's in a gray color, maybe light gray is good. Dark charcoal gray is even better. But you want to wear something in that color line. And then below that, you want to have on a white shirt. And then you want to also put on a tie. Tie really distinguishes you from anybody else who's coming in for an interview.
Right.
And if you really want to take it over the top, wear a suit. Wearing a suit will get anybody's attention from the moment you walk into a place to the moment that you leave. So I would suggest if you're trying to go in for an interview and you want to get that job, that you should wear a suit. It should be a dark suit, whether blue, black, charcoal gray, white shirt, and a tie. And make sure that you have on some nice shoes that are shined. If possible, you can shine them up yourself. And if not, you can take them to a shoe shine person, and the individual will shine your shoes for you. You also want to make sure that you are well groomed. Right now we're in the COVID area, so unfortunately a lot of us probably can't even get to the barber shops or the beauty salons in order to get our hairs done. But you try to do whatever you can in order to make sure that you're well presented. And I think that if you put those things together, that's a great start before you even open up your mouth. The presentation start.
Right.
The presentation is important.
It's a great first impression to have.
Yes.
Absolutely. So those are the kind of like the do's of what to have for dressing for success. What would exactly be the don'ts when it comes to dressing for success?
Great question. So some of the don'ts that you don't want to do is you don't want to wear jewelry that's going to bling so loud. I know that we are very individual and we want to show our
We dripped out.
Exactly. We want to drip out. We want to show we got it, and we want to show that that we're doing well for ourselves. But I definitely would say that you want to refrain from showing any type of jewelry that is non-essential. So for me, I have on my wedding ring. Yes, flashy. I have on my wedding ring. I have on a watch, but I don't have on any extra bling. Like when I was you all's age, I brought this just so I can show you all that I used to bling out too, so I would wear my little pinky ring and my diamonds in
Yeah.
there and whatnot. I put on my chain and let my chain hang out.
Nice,
You know, so I wanted to
nice.
bling out. But, you know, when you're going in for an interview, you want to make sure that you don't do any of those types
Right,
of things.
right.
Right.
So that's a major don't. Another thing that I would like to talk about are some things that, you know, you may not be able to hide. So let's talk about if you have, say, a tattoo.
Right.
You know, I know that people like to express themselves by having tattoos. And so I would say that you might want to refrain during your interview from having a tattoo showing. It's not bad to have a tattoo. I'm not saying that no one will hire you if you have a tattoo.
Right.
But once again, that's more of a personal preference type of thing. And you want to make sure that you are giving yourself every opportunity to be the candidate that they're going to select for that particular job. So therefore, if you have a tattoo maybe on your arm, cover it up.
Right.
Maybe if you have a tattoo in an area that can't be covered up, maybe you have it on your hand or something. Try not to use so many hand gestures so it doesn't reveal that you have a tattoo. And let's just even say that you might have a tattoo in an area that cannot be hidden. I would not suggest that you wear makeup to cover it up. I wouldn't say wear makeup. Own up to it, you know what I mean? But I would just say don't highlight it to where people will look at it in a sense that will cause them to say that this person isn't the type of individual that we want to hire for our particular our company. So, you know, those are a couple of the don'ts that I could think of off the top of my head. Another one that I'll add, and I'll end it with this one, is like cologne. Try to refrain from wearing, you know, very loud cologne. Making sure that, you know, because one of the things I can say is that, let's say, for example, you're a guy and you've got on, you know, maybe you've got on some Cartier or some type of, you know, very nice cologne.
Yeah.
And the person that you're interviewing had a former ex-boyfriend that really did them so wrong. And also used to wear that type of cologne.
Oh, man.
And if you walk in and the moment they smell that cologne, they just remember that this is the individual that did them so wrong. And right off the
Might
bat,
not go over too well.
yeah, you know, you're giving them something to just say something very negative about you. So I tell people to refrain from that. But you should definitely make sure that you have on deodorant, you know, something that just, you know, controls your body odor. So
Absolutely.
those are a couple of don'ts that I'll recommend for us.
Perfect.
Right. So we know as youth we like to be comfortable. So what do you say to those youth that hate suits, that hate anything like that? What would you say to them to make them perhaps more comfortable? Or what are some things that they can do to still be comfortable but still be appropriate for the job scene?
That's a good question. So you also have to remember that this is just an interview for a certain period of time. So, you know, I know that, you know, most of the youth like to wear jeans. They like to wear clothes that makes them feel more comfortable. But you have to remember, we're dressing for success for this particular job. And then you also have to think about the type of job that you are trying to get. If the job that you're trying to get requires you to dress up all of the time, then that's something that you're just going to have to do. You're going to have to adhere to that. But if you're interviewing for a position where you won't necessarily have to, you know, dress up every single day, then just think of it as just the one time that you have to put on some clothes, you know, whenever you have to go to a special occasion. Maybe you're going out for a dinner, or if you're going to a special function with the family members that requires you to dress up, you'll dress up 9 times out of 10. So therefore, you shouldn't think about it as a way of hindering your individualism or your style. Just think of it as you're trying to secure the bag. You're trying to get that job. You know, so that's what I'll suggest that you should do.
Awesome.
And there's for sure ways to make that your own. I feel like with, you know, dressing nice, it makes you feel a little better about yourself, have a certain poise and respectability about yourself for sure. But where would people, because I know many people who would think that, you know, just having some jeans, some Vans, or maybe like a little polo shirt and I don't even know, something else would be respectable. Where could kids or youth that don't know what, you know, the sort of guidelines are for going for an interview, where could they get the kinds of clothes and advice to dress for success? Where would you suggest would be the best place?
Yeah, I mean, you know, once again, it's all about where you're going to be interviewing for, what type of a job you're interviewing for. You know, if you're interviewing for a professional position that you're going to be working, say, in downtown or in an office setting that requires you to be, you know, professional, to come in as a professional, then, you know, you can go to any store. You know, you can go to Macy's, you can go to somewhere online, and we're not talking about, buying some expensive clothing. You can wear some khakis. Khakis are reasonable for office setting, and they're very inexpensive.
Right.
But if you're going to be an attorney, working on a high-powered case, then I would say that you should come to me, because I will get you a very
Right.
nice
Get a
design
high-powered suit
Yeah,
for a
get you a
high-powered
very
job.
high-powered suit, that will, be tailored for you, and that will distinguish you from the rest of the people that are in the room. So it just all depends on the type of job that you're applying for, and the type of activity that you're going to be doing in that particular job. So that would be my suggestion.
Right. So let's talk about socks. We all know that our socks, or men's socks, should never be ankle socks, and they should at least come up to where your ankle is covered. Well, say for instance, somebody wanted to wear polka dot socks or some socks with some flavor. Is that appropriate, or should it be, black socks, gray socks?
That's a great question. I mean, I personally like color. So, my socks that I have on right now are purple. And on the bottom of it, it even goes to a different side of purple. And it goes back to just wanting to be a individual. It just shows your style. I like to coordinate my socks to go along with my outfits as well. Yeah. So it's just, once again, just showing that you can be stylish, and at the same time you can be reserved with the way that you are, doing your styling. So I mean, and then also it goes to, once again, just trying to show people that you have style. I talked about the shoes. The socks is also another thing where people would like for their socks to maybe match their handkerchiefs, or match the color of the outfit that they're wearing. Some men like to wear their socks that will match the tie that they're wearing. Some men would like to wear the socks that will match the inside of their jackets. It just all varies on the individual. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't just, that you can't do these things, or that it's a bad thing if you're wearing socks that are just, basic. But once again, it's just to show that you have style. So that's what you're seeing, some of these trends with socks.
Hey there, everybody. Mr. Ajishigeri here will be showing us how to tie a tie real quick. So,
all right,
leave that off.
Let's go with the one in the hand.
Okay.
The length. You put it, come around, go under, through the loop, and then as you're starting to put the knot together, you just want to, work it to the way that you want it to be worked. Pull it up. There's your tie. One in the hand. So this is the most simplest one. And there you go. How to tie a tie.
Perfect. Thank you
You're
so
getting
much.
there. You're getting there.
I think I got it. Yeah,
All right.
for the most part.
Good deal.
I got a while to figure it out.
All right.
Thanks
Well,
so much.
hope that helps.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Final question. As an influencer, as a businessman with suits and whatnot, what would be your message to the youth? Just a final say here.
Sure. I mean, I would say that, nothing comes easy. Things are, you have to earn the things that you want in life. I kind of talked about, how I got into fashion. Let me just kind of delve in a little bit and just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a CPA. I studied hard and I worked hard for that. I also have an MBA. And so I learned a lot while I was in school. But at the same time, I had some desires. I had some things that I wanted to do on my own. And therefore, that's why I went into the tailoring and to the design world. And so, it's not easy, having a 9 to 5, and then after that, having a 5 to 9. I'm also a family man. I'm married. My wife, we've been married for 13 years. We have 3 children. And, it's not an easy thing to do any of these types of things. But, with hard work, with diligence, with making sure, with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. And one thing that I am also, I'm a God-fearing man, and I pray, and I believe that, God answers prayers. But at the same time, you have to do what you need to do in order for Him to answer those prayers for you. And therefore, I say that it's important to not only just pray, but you also have to do some work. You have to put some effort into anything that you're doing. You have to make sure that you are diligent in the things that you're doing. So my message to the youth would be to just be that, be diligent in whatever it is that you're doing, making sure that you are very deliberate in what you want to do, and how you want to accomplish that. I always tell my youth that you should have a goal. If you don't have a goal, then anywhere is there. So there's a saying that I've heard that if you don't know where you're going, anywhere is there. You don't see anybody who is going to the airport and gets at the ticket counter, and then the ticket agent will ask them, "Where are you going?" Then the person will reply, "I don't know where I'm going. Anywhere. I just want to go anywhere." And believe you me, they'll call TSA. TSA will kindly come and pick that person up and say, "You know what, sir? We want to just kind of talk to you and see what's going on with you, because you have to have a goal. You have to have a destination of where you're trying to go." So my message is that, just make sure that you have a goal, and that's one of the first things that will be able to take you to that next level to get you to the successful place that you're trying to get to. And as it relates to just clothing, just make sure that you're wearing things that are appropriate, because wearing things that are appropriate will be able to help you to get to that destination of where you're trying to get to. So that's my message to the youth.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us here at Tap Talk again. I am your host, Marcus Aceves-Lewis, here with my co-host, Qudisah Muhammad. Thank you once again to our guest, Mr. Boye Ajishigeri. He taught us about what it looks like to dress for success. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. See you later.